Hi everyone, it's Heather from True North Spirit Medicine here. How are you? Welcome to the energy reading for November 2021. I got the date right because I've learned to write it on a piece of paper. It's the simple things. So today I'm going to use the Kyle Gray Angels and Ancestors Oracle card deck. I've only got a few cards with me, the rest are in storage. So yeah, you'll see these repeated, but that's kind of nice because I like working with the energy of this one. I just kind of ask, they ask for them to show me which deck to use for which particular reading, whether it's this on camera or in person or over the phone or Skype or whatever. Yeah, so this one kind of jumped out at me today. Oh, talking about jumping out at me. So I'm going to draw hopefully 3 cards and we'll see how we go. We'll see what messages we get. I'm a bit excited. I feel a bit nervous. I don't know why. It's a bit strange. So I just ask for the messages for the people watching for the energy of November 2021, please. And thank you. Interesting. Okay. It's really quiet here today. It's quite nice. So I've got 3 cards. I may also use a new deck in a little while, but we'll start with the Kyle Gray cards. And like normal, I will have a feel into them and sort of shuffle them around a bit until they feel like they are in the right place. Yes, they are. Okay. So I'm just going to tune in before we get to the cards, because again, like last month, I feel like there's some like initial information that wants to come through. And they're saying yes, yes there is. And it's interesting, one of the cards here has the first one, it says the seer, see beyond the current situation. And I'll talk about it in more detail in a minute. But straight away when I closed my eyes, what they showed me in my mind's eye was that crystal ball. So something similar to what she's got there. And it's that same kind of beautiful purple colour. And funny, like I really wanted to wear purple today, which is interesting. They're laughing, going, it's all about the crown, it's all about the crown, it's all about the crown. So I'm assuming if you're watching this, you know the chakra system, the energy centres. There's hundreds, but we talk a lot about the sort of main 7, the colours of the rainbow, with the crown, the purple one being just inside the top of your head. They're saying connect, 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 connect. It's really important. It's really important. If you're not a regular meditator, this is the time to jump on board. If you're someone who meditates sporadically, it's time to make it a more, they're saying, disciplined and daily practice. And of course there's many ways to meditate. You can walk, you can garden, you can swim, you can sit in stillness, you can, there's lots of different ways. They're saying it's a bit like exercise. Find the way that suits you best. Find the way that suits you best and stick with it. They're saying there's a lot of power coming. There's a lot of power coming. And I'm feeling this really big channel or column of light. And it's good power. It's like, if you plug your phone in or, whatever to charge it up and the electricity is flowing smoothly, that's a good thing. So it's good. It's big and it's for you. All of these shifts and changes are for you collectively as humanity, but also, and sometimes more importantly, for you as individuals. All of these upgrades, all of this shift, all of these paradigms, I'm seeing like lightning flashes, the paradigm shifts of the mind, where you open up to, oh, there's even more, oh, there's even more, oh, there's even more. All of that, it's for you. It's for you to know, to embrace, to hold close to your heart, is what I'm hearing. So it's a really deeply personal shift, a really deeply personal transformation, this time period that we're in, of the shift into higher consciousness. It's deeply personal. You don't have to shout from the rooftops. You don't have to say, I'm enlightened, I've changed, I've upgraded, it's nothing to do with that. It's nothing to do with that. It's like, so that crystal ball they showed me at the beginning, it's like a big hug. It's like a big hug around you, and they're really inviting you to yield to that hug. You know, like if someone goes to hug you and you're not in the mood, or you've still got the shits with them or something, and you kind of hold yourself a bit stiff, or, you know, maybe you're a bit shy or touch phobic or something, but, you know, like that feeling of not allowing, not accepting, not yielding to the hug. And there's a really big invitation here to just yield, to like soften into it, and to allow that beautiful love energy, that's what all of this power stuff is. It's love. To let it hug you, to let it hold you, to let it embrace you, to let it support you and carry you forward through these shifting times, through these upgrades, through these solar flares and eclipses and all of the other, I almost said nonsense, all of the other stuff that's going on, and all of that other stuff is to support us as well. But the core of it is love. The core of it is that big, beautiful source energy that you can only get to on a personal level. You can't read it in a book, you can't watch it on a video, you can't hear someone talk about it or preach about it from a stage or a pulpit and then expect for it to, do you know what I mean? Like, it's personal. You have to embody it and embrace it, embody it, embrace it, embody it and embrace it. It's like, you know those trust exercises where you might have done them. I did them at drama school, but you know, like sometimes they do them at like professional development things at work, or like kids camp or whatever, where you stand and there's a group of people behind you and you lean. They call them trust falls, and the idea is that you trust the people behind you are going to catch you, that they don't actually let you drop and smack your head on the ground. And it's that kind of feeling, like leaning back into it. Like, I really want to lean back into, lean back against the couch and lean back into this beautiful warm hug. They're saying it's not, they're funny. They're saying it's not as scary as a trust fall in a group. It's like, we will catch you. We will catch you. There's no jokers here. There's no tricksters here. There's no one's going to pull their hands away at the last minute and let you fall or whatever. I'm also reminded of like stage diving and stuff. But yeah, there's no chance of you falling. There's no mistakes. They're saying there's no mistakes. You can't fall. Remember they're just reminding me of that feeling. I think it was last month where they talked about that big, beautiful golden sort of net supporting underneath you. It's like that. And there's I know I've talked about this before in readings. I don't know if I've done it on the videos yet, but often when they're talking about don't be too scared to jump because we'll catch you kind of thing, like be brave and all the rest of it. It often looks like, when you go to the circus and there's, trapeze artists, and always underneath them there's a big net, and sometimes either they slip, they miss their I was going to say footing, but that's hands, they miss their hold, or it's the end of the performance and they all jump down. And how much bounce is in that net. I always love that part. It's like a giant trampoline. But anyway, so they're showing me that, and again, it's that big, beautiful sort of golden net colour that's underneath you. So you can't not be held. You can't not be held in this. No one's excluded from this. Nobody. Even if you're like, oh, but I'm not worthy, or I stole $20 when I was 10, or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You are made of love. They are made of love. This is made of love. So it's like love embracing love, basically. Yeah, don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. I feel kind of excited in my heart space. It's really nice. So I'm just going to ask them if there's anything else they want to say on that before we get to the cards. They're saying no, but I have a feeling they're going to touch back on that as we go through. Yeah. Yay, nice. So this seer card, it says see beyond the current situation, and I feel like this is, sorry, I'm itchy. I feel like this is connected to, they're saying quite a few things, but they're saying politics. I'm not sure where you're watching this, which country you're in. I'm in Australia. Yeah, so there's an invitation here to, again, sort of detach yourself from the collective, you know. So you might see the government's being supportive or not, or mandating things or not, or whatever. I know there was a really big protest in Mexico. I just heard on the radio yesterday again about the femicide. You know, so there's all sorts of things going on and all sorts of people standing up for what they believe in, which is wonderful. I'm like, what's the point of that? As in, not what's the point of the protest, but what's the point of what they're saying? Oh yeah, the action is really important. Taking action is really, really important. And we've just been writing about that in the newsletter, which I'll post once this video is edited. But that detachment is really important in terms of the energy of it. So you can, you know, stand up and write the letter and sign the petition and go to the protest and have your say, to stand up for those whose voice is less strong than yours. And that's really important. But in terms of the energies, it's really important also to detach yourself from that. I think we talked about that a couple of months ago. And that's what enables you to see beyond the current situation, right? Because it's like, you know, you stand on the mountaintop and you can see further, you know, because you've climbed the mountain. It's that simple. And from that, they're saying the eagles. So animal medicine is really important here as well. So working with the animal guardians is I just saw a statue of some dolphins out of the corner of my eye as a what's the word? Enhancement of this medicine. Well, it is medicine, isn't it? Message. Yeah, staying detached gives you that perspective. You can bring in the eagle medicine because eagles are the ones that fly the highest, so they have the greatest perspective of all of the animals on the earth, and tap into that. And as you stand on the mountain or sit on the mountain or whatever it is, with that higher perspective, no judgment of course, it's just where you're at, then you can work to add the best energy and intentions and outcomes because you're not down on the ground with the mud on your knees. Do you know what I mean? Like, compassionate action is what they're saying. And if you're not sure what compassionate action is, I don't know, I just don't want to spend like another 5 minutes explaining it here. Basically, it's calling forth the best outcome of any situation, whether it's personal or planetary, by filling yourself with joy and then pasting that joy onto the situation, basically. It's a very brief explanation. But yeah, that's the work. That's the basis of the work at the moment, is that compassionate action. So filling yourself up with the joy of a child, and then pasting it, seeing it, imagining these people that are in turmoil, in joy, imagining these governments that are in strife, in peace or balance, imagining this planet that seems a bit strife-torn at the moment as a loving, peaceful, supportive entity. Yeah, that's compassionate action. It's It's really powerful. It's one of the most powerful tools that we have at our disposal at the moment. It's really good. Highly recommend it. Yeah, okay, good. So, the next card. It's winter. Wolf, here we go. And they're also pointing out on the back of the card there is an eagle, in fact. So winter, take care of your needs. You might not be in winter wherever you are on the planet. You're probably not, I guess, if we're in spring, then the other half of the planet's in autumn. But it's the energy of, oh, look at those eyes. It's the energy of winter and the energy of taking care of your needs, self-care. And again, call on the animals, call on the animals. Use your knowledge of the animal kingdom to support yourself. They're saying, there's the owl on the back of the card. Oh, it's a bit blurry, sorry. They're saying it's part of that net, it's part of that support. This mob, the animal kingdom or queendom, is part of your support. So I'm just going to ask if there's anything else about the taking care of your needs part of the card. They're saying yes. They're saying rest and restoration. That's interesting. Rest and restore. And I'm seeing like a really big bowl of beautiful, like warming soup, you know, with like pumpkin and maybe barley, and like it's like nourishment. You know, you don't have to go home and eat soup. But the invitation here is for whatever food that you're putting into your body, your systems, is nourishing. Soups and smoothies are a really good way to get a lot of nutrients into your system in a really easily digestible way, especially if you're a bit stressed or a bit busy or whatever. I always go to soups and smoothies in those kind of situations, or just nourishment, you know. Rest is really important, and water, like hydration. There's been a lot of solar flares, coronal mass ejections again, a big one just yesterday. And they can often make you tired and dizzy and, I was going to say restless, I guess, restless as well, grumpy, you know, a bit sort of out of sorts, because there's this new solar energy, new vibration, new frequency, new good radiation hitting the planet, you know, and they're saying, and this is all part of the upgrades, this is all part of the upgrades, this is all part of the upgrades. So coming back to what we were saying at the beginning about meditation being really important, and remembering that if you ever find your meditation a bit tricky, remember to ask to be upgraded. Do you know what I mean? Like if you've been a regular meditator or you haven't meditated for a while and you're wanting to get back into it and you're finding it a bit like, where's that sweet spot, you know, ask. Please upgrade me to the highest and best frequency available to me now. That's what I say. I've just made those words up. Something along those lines though is really quite good. And then you kind of shift. It's like, sorry, I feel like I'm talking in half sentences today, but I'm sure you're understanding what I'm saying. You know, when you're driving in your car and you know, if you drive 100 kilometres or whatever and you're listening to the radio station from the place you were in before, it gets to a point where it starts to go all crackly and stuff, and you've got to, you know, retune your dial, or, you know, if you want to keep listening to that same radio station. So I often describe the sort of meditation frequency and the frequency upgrades that we're talking about as being like that. So, you know, say I've driven from Brisbane to the Gold Coast or whatever, there's a point behind the Gold Coast, I can't remember the name of the suburb, where the radio starts to drop out. So then if I'm driving to Byron or you know, a bit further or whatever, and I want to still keep listening to that same radio station, I literally, I push a button, but you get the idea, you know, I have to retune, I have to change the dial, I have to actually physically do something in order to keep listening to that same frequency, that same radio station. And this is the same. Okay, so the meditation frequency did not change for thousands of years. A few years ago it changed, and you had to get up off your chair and move, so to speak. And then it was the same for yonks, months and months and months. And then now it seems to be changing pretty much every couple of weeks. Do you know what I mean? Which I've never experienced, and I've been meditating every day for probably 20 years or more. Do you know what I mean? So this is new. So if you are a regular meditator, or you haven't tapped back into that power source, the proper power source, in a while, don't be disheartened if it feels a bit sticky, or you feel like you can't get there, or do you know what I mean? Like, what that probably means, and you know, it could be other factors as well, but what that probably means is that you've traveled too far down the road, too far, not really, and you've got to adjust your dial. Do you know what I mean? So then you just ask, please, you know, attune me to the highest, best frequency available to me now, or whatever words are comfortable for you. Does that make sense? Yeah. And actually, I've just written about this again in the November newsletter. So you can sign up via my website if you want to jump on board that, or send me a message or something. Because there was another massive upgrade about 2 weeks ago, like massive. And I've just been trying to put it down into words to describe it to people, which is a bit tricky. But I got pictures to help. So, yeah, so just know that it's really important to stay, they're saying stay on board. They're showing me a boat with happy people, like a ferry. It's kind of cute. Stay on board. We want you on board. We want you on board. We need you on board, and we want you on board. We want you to be as healthy and happy and hydrated, is what they're saying, for these, you know, these shifting times as possible. Yeah, so nourishment and water and sleep and rest and nourishment in other ways too. Like, you know, you might feel like picking up a paintbrush, or weeding the garden bed, or painting the bedroom in your house, or whatever. Like, that's creative nourishment, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So, or playing a game of tennis with friends for fun, you know, whatever it is. Nourishment in lots of ways, not just food. Yeah. And that's funny, this next card has food in it, apples. So the last one in the Kyle Gray deck is Lady. Enjoy growth and reap rewards. So we've gone from seeing beyond the current situation, to taking care of your needs, to enjoy growth and reap rewards. It's like it's harvest time, you know. It's a really lovely, peaceful lady. Get my fingers out of the way. Holding an apple. She looks really content, doesn't she? She looks kind of powerful and strong and rested and relaxed all at the same time. Which is a pretty good place to be in. Pretty powerful place to be in. You know, she's not in anger or judgment or fear or anything. It's just this calm kind of ease and grace and strength within that. Okay, enjoy growth and reap rewards. They're saying enjoy the harvest, enjoy the harvest, enjoy the harvest. So again, we're coming back to that sort of mountaintop analogy, right? Some people aren't even aware there's a mountain. You are aware there's a mountain because you're watching this video, and you've climbed it at some point, at some, you know, different stages, and wherever you're up to on that mountain. But you know what I'm talking about. Enjoy the view from up there. That's part of the rest, you know. It's not this constant clambering for the sake of clambering, you know, like growth for the sake of growth. That's not what this is. It's about planting the seeds and tending them and going within and seeing what's there and clearing out what internal clutter you don't want, and celebrating the gifts that are there, and calling for the gifts of the ancestors to come forward and assist you as much as possible. The cat's just woken up and has got her head stuck in my glass of water and is drinking it. So if you can hear that, that's the cat. It's a cloudy day, so she's been asleep. It's distracting me. I'm sorry if you can hear that on the video. It's kind of funny. Hi, Dickie. She's so pretty. Yeah, it's more about, you know, it's like if you were going on a bushwalk, you know, you wouldn't, and it's, you know, say it's a couple of kilometres and there's a bit of a hill and some views, you wouldn't just race around it, would you? You might stroll a bit and take some photos of some beautiful wildflowers, or look at the trees, or see the birds, and then you'd get to kind of the pinnacle or the apex of your walk, and it might be a side of a mountain with a beautiful view. Well, you're not going to kind of go, oh, that's a nice view, and carry on. You might stop, you might sit with your friends, or sit with your with yourself in silence, and absorb and enjoy, and maybe have a snack, maybe have some apples, take a picnic lunch, like, and then you might stroll home and your legs might be a bit tired from the walk, and you'd enjoy the downward, you know, flow to that. So it's, and they're saying it's also, so that's what it's about, do you know what I mean? Like, enjoy the view and reap the harvest from all of the work that you've done. So take a moment at the top of the mountain and look around, you know, and go, isn't this amazing? Isn't this beautiful? Isn't this perspective great? Doesn't my head feel clear? Doesn't my vision feel wide? Doesn't my belly feel good because we've brought some snacks with us or whatever? And it's like when you actually garden, if you're a gardener or whatever, you might plant some tomatoes and tomato seedlings, and then you've got to wait for them to grow, and then you've got to fertilise them at the right time and keep the water up to them, and, you know, make sure they're staked and have something to climb on and all of that. And then at some point you get to harvest. You get to go, oh, I've got tomatoes growing in the garden. You know, you get to harvest these delicious tomatoes and eat them, and you've got an abundance of them because they all ripen pretty much at once, and so then you can share them with your friends or your neighbours or other loved ones, or strangers if you want. So there's a beauty to that. Do you know what I mean? There's a beauty to that cycle, and again we're coming back to that ball, that you know, that sphere, that you know, that they showed us at the beginning, and they're talking about the cycles of nature here. So that it's like, I feel like we're kind of going around this ball, beginning, middle, end, beginning, middle, end, beginning, middle, end. So care, harvest. So care, harvest. So, and that's that nourish, the nourishing, taking care of your needs. That's your nourishment as well, isn't it? So they're saying it's like when, like I bought tomato seedlings this time because, you know, I didn't use the seeds. So I bought seedlings. So it was like, and at the same time I planted the tomato seedlings, I also built the structure for them to grow on. Like, they were only that big, and the structure, oh, it's too big for the camera, you know, there's posts in there that are like over 2 meters tall with, you know, lines strung across them to grow on. But so the structure was there with the string or the whatever for them to grow along, but the plants were only this big. So that's they're saying, in a way, that's seeing beyond the current situation, isn't it? Like, I was planting tiny little plants, and the cat's freaking out because she wants to go out, but I shut the door for the noise. Now she's come back for more water. Seeing beyond the current situation, little seedlings, they're going to grow. They're going to grow. If I keep the water and the fertilizer and you know, they get enough sun and all the rest of it, they're going to grow. And then I take care of them, so you're taking care of your needs, and then I get to harvest them. Do you know what I mean? And they're saying, in a lot of ways, that's what this is about. That's what everything is about. And that pause there was me going, this is the month of November. And they're saying, yes, these skills of seeing beyond, nourishing and caring for self. Now the cat's scratching her claws on the chair. And then harvesting and celebrating, and know that you deserve the celebration. You know, that you've earned it, it's like, you know, you earn your stripes or your brownie badge or your Boy Scout badge or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You've earned that. So celebrate it and sit and take a moment and take in the view. Because it's for you, remember? So just as it is for the tomatoes, it is for you, is what they're saying. That's a really funny note to end on. We are all tomatoes. But you get the point of the metaphor. Yeah, it feels really nice. It feels really nice. And my heart space was all a bit excited and a little nervous, strangely, but before I started recording this video for you. But now it feels all nice and settled. I did forget about the Mandala Vortex. These are my new cards. I bought them from a lovely lady in Croatia, Irina Novacic. Sorry, I don't know how to say your name properly. And they're lovely. And I just want to draw one because they're so nice. So I'm just going to ask for maybe a final card to support and summarize everything that we've been talking about today. Please. Ha, funny. Earth element and groundedness. How perfect is that? We were just talking about tomatoes. Earth element and groundedness. And I've only just got these cards, but from what I understand, the idea is to sort of meditate on the mandala itself. So maybe take a moment to absorb the energy of this beautiful artwork. And at the same time, I'm just asking them if there's anything last that they want to say as the cat comes to drink my water from my glass. I don't know how loud that is, sorry. They're saying, no, not really. We've explained what this card means, because I did ask for a summary, but they are just pointing out the center of it, and they're saying it is seasonal. It is seasonal. So that kind of looks like, you know how you can divide the wheel of the year up into, you know, quarters and stuff. So they're saying it is seasonal. So like I said before, here in Australia we're in spring, and the northern hemisphere is in autumn. So, you know, maybe the nourishing soupy kind of bowls is good for the northern hemisphere, and the smoothies or the delicious salads or something is good for us here as we come into the lightness of summer. Yeah, so grounding yourself in whatever way feels correct for where you are and where you're at personally and where you are geographically. That's kind of cool. That makes sense. They're so wise. They're so wise. So I'm just asking if there's anything else they want to say before we finish. I've kind of given up trying to keep these to 20 minutes, by the way. I think they're in general going to be around 30, so that's all right. You can pause it whenever you need to. They're saying no, that's enough, and thank you. They're thanking me for doing this. And just a last note of celebrate, 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 celebrate. So imagine you have got to the top of the mountain. Yay, I made it to the mountain. Do you know what I mean? Like celebrate the wins. Celebrate, I think we said this last month maybe. Like celebrate the wins, whether it's big or small, for yourself and others. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Because that joy is what will carry you through those darker times when it's cold, or you know, you're sad, or whatever. Like that joy that you've filled yourself up with, that you need to fill yourself up with in order to send compassionate action. You can also send it to yourself, you know. Yeah, so when you're not feeling so upbeat, you can scoop up some of your own joy that you've left on the, it's like a, you know, Little Red Riding Hood following the breadcrumbs or whatever, but instead of a wolf, wolves got a bad reputation. But you know what I mean? Like you can put that on the path for yourselves as well. Yeah, I better go and let the cat out. Thank you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, do all that kind of bizzo. If you fancy, that would be nice. I've also just joined Instagram a couple of days ago. I have one post so far, but I may, what my intention is to possibly use Instagram for like the interim videos, so keep these as a monthly thing on YouTube, but like that big upgrade I was talking about that I've written about in the newsletter that happened a couple of weeks ago, I didn't have the capacity or the time to upload a whole video to YouTube, but I may in the future do those sort of short interim ones on something like Instagram. So yeah, keep an eye out. It's my business name. Everything's under True North Spirit Medicine. Have a good month. Enjoy the harvest. Enjoy your gifts. Enjoy the celebration. Make sure you nourish and hydrate and rest as much as possible. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others. And I'll see you soon. Thanks. Bye.